our meeting to order and ask is our cameraman ready? I didn't ask. Ah. I see a blinking light.
Actually, I like the contrast.
Okay, I'd like to call our meeting to order and ask everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The roll, please.
Belke.
Here.
Belzak.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Marquez.
Here.
McIver.
Here.
Shower.
Here.
Seifert.
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications to share? Alderman Kenny?
I have two, Madam Mayor. Good evening. Received communication from Pat Fleck in the 6900 block of Irish Courts. He had some issues with her phone service, and Scott Corrin went above and beyond the call of duty and was able to assist her. And she's extremely happy with the city of Darien based on that. And received another communication from a Jack Quinnard, 7300 block of Summit, regarding Dottie's. He was concerned about it being total gambling, and I was able to assure him that it's a restaurant first and gambling second. So he seemed to be okay with that answer. So that's
Yeah,
all.
I had a cup of coffee with a resident this weekend who, yes, she's also very concerned about that, and, explained to her the situation. And she was aware of Dottie's. She didn't even know about Stella's. So unfortunately, I was able to report to her that we have 2 of those kind of facilities coming into Darien. What's the status on that? Are they both waiting for their equipment, their video equipment?
Dottie's is now opened. I think it's about 3 weeks now they've been open. And Stella's is not opened yet. I don't even think
Where's Dottie's located?
up at Brookhaven.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The old florist.
The old florist.
Gosh, I thought I drove by there just the other day, and it didn't look like it was
What time?
operation.
Depending on the time you were there. If you were there early shopping,
Okay,
You really have to look for it. It's not,
Yeah.
not very blatant.
yeah, okay. Well, that's a good thing, huh?
Yeah, there wasn't anybody in there either.
I think somebody on the council was reminding people that Q Bar already has the machines, and they're cordoned off. It's not, you have to be an adult to get in there. And whomever was telling us about it saw very few people using the machines.
Mhm.
So,
Chuck's, that's where I saw him, at
Yeah,
Chuck's.
Chuck's.
That-
and
you
there
were
was
the one,
nobody
yes.
and that was at Chuck's Southern
Yep.
Comfort.
okay,
too.
and there was
Yeah.
nobody using them there, okay.
No, and it was a weekend,
Oh, well, last week they were pretty busy
were they?
At
at Chuck's,
Chuck's?
Mhm.
Okay.
What time did you leave?
which is good. Let me check my wallet.
Okay, let's move to questions, comments, and announcements. Do we have any questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature from the council? I think I skipped over a couple things, didn't I?
No.
Am I jumping
No.
around on you? Is there anyone in the audience that wanted to address the council on any number of items? Okay. Let's move to the approval of the minutes of March 17th, 2014. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Shower, second by Alderman McIver. Any questions, additions or deletions? The roll, please.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Seifert.
Aye.
Kenny.
Abstain.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belke.
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 abstention.
The minutes have been approved. Receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications to share? Let's move on to the mayor's report, and it is with great honor here. We want to honor an individual, a resident of the city of Darien, who has reached her 100th birthday. She did that on March 21st, and I'd like to read a mayoral proclamation in her honor. I believe Margaret is watching this evening, so it is a great honor for us to honor you for reaching that wonderful milestone. Whereas Margaret Mary Engler was born in Chicago to Charles and Carolyn Engler on March 21st, 1914. And whereas Margaret had two siblings, Edwin Engler and Adelaide Engler Sack, and whereas Margaret graduated from St. Xavier College with a full 4-year scholarship, and whereas Margaret was married to Robert Edmund Roach, and whereas Margaret and Robert had 2 children, Mary Margaret Stefani, who was married to Richard, and Edmund Dennis Roach, who was married to Gail Ann Bors. And whereas Margaret has 4 grandchildren, Kevin Dennis, Ryan Edmund, Shannon Marguerite, and Aaron Margaret. And whereas Margaret has 4 great-grandchildren, Brooklyn Roach, Linda Rose Steen, Leah Kyrie Steen, and Grayson William Haley. And whereas Margaret has held many jobs in her lifetime, including a secretarial position with District 86. And whereas Margaret and Robert sold their home in Hinsdale and have been residents of Darien for over 30 years. And whereas Margaret celebrated her 100th birthday on March 21st, 2014. Now therefore, I, Kathleen Weaver, Mayor of the City of Darien, do hereby proclaim the 7th day of April as Margaret Mary Roach Day in the City of Darien, and urge all residents to offer their best wishes and celebrate this wonderful occasion. So we will give this proclamation to the family of Margaret, and congratulations on that wonderful milestone. That's all I have under the mayor's report. Let's move to the city clerk's report.
I have 2 things, Madam Mayor. Meet and greet with the mayor will happen on Monday, April the 21st at 6 p.m. here in the City Hall in the upstairs conference room. And also, city offices will be closed on Friday, April 18th, in observance of Good Friday.
Thank you. City administrator's report.
I have no report, Mayor, thank you.
Department head information.
Madam Mayor, real quick, in reference to 75th Street construction, as you are aware of, the construction has started on a weekly basis. The city staff is attending meetings with the DuPage County as well as the general contractor and the resident engineer. So if there's any residents out there that have any questions, comments, or businesses for that matter, please give me a call. And my direct line is 630-353-8106. I can't say that the resident engineer has been very cooperative and very understanding to any of our requests at this time.
And I believe that big bulldozer or whatever it is on the Chase property is getting ready to start work.
2 machines in a trailer, and I'll call it the house trailer, were put out there over the weekend, and Chase should be starting tomorrow, full gear.
Okay. It looks like they've used a lot of locations in businesses for, I should say the county has used a lot of staging areas with businesses along 75th Street. I noticed a number of trailers and things in the John Manos's property.
Correct. And
Yeah.
that was all coordination between the county, John Manos, as well as the general contractor.
Very good.
Dan, any more information? Because there was talk about sprinkler system that they kind of popped up at the last second on Norman Courts. Do we know anything more? Is that going to be affected at all?
No concern.
Okay.
All resolved.
Thank you.
What was that issue?
Was
There apparently the Norman Courts has sprinklers, and they were concerned that the sprinklers were going to be in the way of or construction was going to be in the way of their sprinklers for the outside of the grass area along Norman Courts and 75th Street.
Oh,
And
I don't-
basically-
yeah, I don't think the construction is going that close to the
what it
property.
was is also the silt fence, in conjunction with Alderman Kenny said, is the silt fence was basically going to be put behind the irrigation system.
okay.
So, we had a meeting with the county, hey, there's no reason to put the silt fence behind them, let's put it in front of it. And this way there's less chance of puncturing any type of hose of underground system there.
Thank you.
I only have 2 brief points, Madam Mayor and City Council. First off, I want to make the citizens aware that we are still getting calls on telephone scams and internet scams, and so should anyone call a resident or contact a resident asking for money, simply don't respond to it. Don't give it. We had one resident attempt to go to the bank and withdraw money for this purpose, and luckily the bank caught it and told her it was a scam, and she did not ultimately take the money. But we've had a few very successful scams, and these folks are really high tech. And one of the scams, they actually have a device that can produce a false number return call, so it looks like the call is coming from someplace else. and they called back and forged our police department telephone number, and so the victim thought she was actually speaking to someone from the Darien Police Department. So it's very sophisticated. So anybody who's contacted via telephone or internet asking for monies, please don't give it up.
Well, I've had residents approach me regarding the calls they get from the vendor who calls on behalf of the Darien MAP, the police department's union, where they've actually come to my house and said, you know, I'm waiting for the police officer to come and pick up this check, and I have to inform them of what the exact situation is. So that one's a tough one.
Each year, and we encourage folks not to even give to respond to that one, because each year we have a certain level of contact either with the union leadership or the vendor itself, asking them to make sure that their solicitation practices don't identify the caller or the telephone solicitor as a member of the police department.
Yes.
Chief, just to clarify for our residents, it's not like Darien's targeted. These types of scams you're talking about, I read about in the Tribune and all the newspapers, and they're all over the place.
These are nationwide scam. The IRS scam in particular is a nationwide scam. I think we have about 40,000 victims nationwide who either been victimized or an attempted victimization using the IRS scam.
And what agency tries to go after these scams? Is it a federal agency or is it local?
Oh, for most of the scams, it's a local agency. If an entity is posing as a federal entity, then it's usually the federal government that pursues it. The initial response, obviously, is the local police, and then it's referred based on
Secret Service, isn't it? Wasn't the presentation you had at the clerks, that was the Secret Service? They are the ones that go after
I'm
the
not, I
federal-
remember him
the
speaking just,
federal,
but I
the
don't
federal
remember.
scams, yeah.
It depends on the type of scam. The Secret Service is very specific. If it's a forged document scams, it's most likely going to be the Secret Service. But
Okay.
other than that, it'll be some component of the one of the other federal agencies.
Any questions for our staff members? Then let's move on to Treasurer's Report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting approval of warrant number 131422 in the amount of $84,290.97 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended March 20th in the amount of $255,611.62 for a total be approved of $339,902.59.
Motion, Alderman Seifert, second by Alderman Belke. Any questions for the treasurer? Then the roll, please.
Seifert,
Aye.
Belke,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
7 ayes.
That really choked you out there.
Yeah, it really did. Having to approve all that money.
Let's move on to standing committee reports. Alderman McIver?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are going to have a police committee meeting on Monday, April 21st at 6 p.m. across the parking lot in the police training room. Did I say 6
6
p.m.?
o'clock. Thank you. Alderman Marquez?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Municipal Services Committee approved the minutes of the February 24th, 2014 meeting and submitted those to the clerk's office. And the next meeting of the Municipal Services Committee will be April 28th at 6:30 here in the council chambers.
Okay. Alderman Shower?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The minutes for the March 3rd, 2014 Admin Finance meeting have been submitted to the clerk's office, and our next Admin Finance meeting will be May 5th, 2014 in our upstairs meeting room at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Let's move on to questions, comments that are agenda-related. Does any of the aldermen have questions regarding the agenda items? And let's open it up to the floor. Does anyone in the audience have any questions for the council on items that are on our agenda this evening? Then moving on to old business, there is no old business, so we move right on to the consent agenda. And this evening, for the purpose for the consent agenda, we removed the first item, item A, regarding Our Lady of Peace Crusaders Challenge. They asked that be removed to provide us with more information. And we added items, under new business, we added items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H to the consent agenda. So let me read those items for you on what we have on our consent agenda this evening. The first is a motion to grant a waiver of a raffle license bond for the Darien District 61 Educational Foundation. The next is a motion to approve an ordinance granting a minor amendment to an approved plan unit development, which is Marketplace at Darien, regarding an additional ground sign. The next item is a motion to approve an ordinance approving our 2014-15 budget. The next item is to approve a resolution approving a contract for the 2014 concrete sidewalk, apron, curb, and gutter removal and replacement program, and the Bailey Road sidewalk repair with Suburban Concrete in an amount not to exceed $394,133, and to waive the $75 permit fee application for any residents that are participating in the sidewalk program. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the 2014 ditch maintenance project between the City of Darien and Scorpio Construction in an amount not to exceed $384,415. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution to enter into a contract agreement for the 2014 street maintenance program between the City of Darien and James D. Fiala Paving Company in an amount not to exceed $1,056,431.85. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution to extend a contract with Rags Electric Company for our annual 2014-15 street light maintenance contract. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract agreement for the 2014 street sweeping services between the City of Darien and Waste Management of Illinois in an amount not to exceed $38,042. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the 2014 landscape fertilization program between the City of Darien and True Green. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution. There was no number, there was no figure on the 2014 landscape fertilization program. Is that still in discussion? Why was that not provided in this motion?
I've got 1100 on the issue
14,000.
statements. $14,118.70.
14,480.
$118.70.
Okay. Okay, so we do have a number associated with that motion for that resolution. Motion to approve, the next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Joseph R. Algozine to provide electrical inspection services for the City of Darien at a rate of $35 per inspection. With that said, do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Seifert, second by Alderman Kenny. The roll, please.
Seifert.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
7 ayes.
All items have been approved. Now moving to new business. Item A is a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 6C4-4-7 of our Darien City Code regarding water consumption charges. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Belkey. Discussion? No discussion? Okay. Would you like to give us the numbers? I don't have it handy right now. Our current rate is $6.40, and we are moving up to
The residential rate, the 2015 budget contemplates a residential rate of $7.75 for Darien residents and $9.30 for residents of unincorporated. And also the fixed fee is going up from $5 per bill to $10 per bill. And this was discussed, obviously, during the budget process. The city council had additional meeting basically to spend on the water rate. And a lot of this rate, majority of it is attributable to the City of Chicago, who has raised rates, to the DuPage Water Commission, who has in turn raised rates to all the charter customers. Example of the increases, the commission increased in 2012 their rate by 30%, and then in 2013 an increase of 20%, 18% in 2014, and 17% in 2015. So primarily this just passes on that increase to residents.
Okay, thank you.
And just, you know, it's been not a tough year, but we've had a lot of water main breaks, and I think residents will see this year more than ever the amount of work it does take to run and operate a water system. And there's, you know, the water department does a great job of providing safe water and efficient, but this particular increase is something that we're passing on because we're receiving that increase.
That's right. Not
Brian,
some- yeah,
if
no.
you don't mind, what's the, to explain to residents, the fixed rate? What does that cover?
The fixed rate covers a number of items that really are not dependent on how many gallons of water you use. As an example, we currently have a bond issue that's part of the water fund. So if every resident in town moved out or did quit using water, we would still have to pay that bond amount. So there's fixed fees that we need to recoup as part of that $10. And then, again, residents are somewhat in charge of their bill based on their water consumption per thousand.
Now, are these, the increase from $5 to $10 is based on a change in bond?
Well, it's based on a number of fixed fees. I don't have that. I can look through that. It's on my computer. I don't have it right
Yeah,
handy. But
I was just
it's
for
about,
residents.
it equals about $500,000 of fixed fees that we have to operate the water system. Again, independent of what a resident uses. As an example, you know, if a resident uses 1,000 gallons or 5,000 gallons and we have a water main break, we still have to fix that and operate that. So there's as part of the water fund budget, there was a number of items that total about the actually it's about $550,000 of fixed costs.
Any other questions on that issue?
The only other item is we have been putting this out in our direct connect since the budget meeting, and you know, we're trying to let residents be aware of the increase.
Okay, thank you. Item B under new business is a motion. Oh, I still have one more item. Oh, that's right, it's not
We're on-
consent anymore. Okay, we have a motion and a seconder.
Correct.
The roll, please.
Shower.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Seifert.
Aye.
MacIver.
Aye.
7 ayes and no nays.
Motion approved. Item B under new business is a motion to approve the architectural building rendering, which is option 2, for the redevelopment of the city-owned 1.69 acres at the northeast corner of Plainfield Road and Cass Avenue. Motion made by Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Seifert. Discussion. The roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Seifert.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
MacIver.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
7 ayes and no nays.
Motion is approved. Let's move to questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature from the Alderman first, Alderman Marquez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to thank Mr. Gombeck. As you know, with the 75th Street and Cass redevelopment project this summer, it's going to have significant impact on the Lions Club and the parade. And we had a lot of questions about running a parade and what avenues would be open to us for that parade. And Dan took the time to meet with Jeff McCullough, who is the chairman of the parade this year, and Jim Kaiser, who's the president of the Lions Club, spent some considerable time with them, and then also acted as a liaison with John Manos at the Brookhaven Shopping Center to try to work something out to make that the staging and end site for the parade this year. And while that hasn't officially been approved, that all happened because of Dan's efforts, so many thanks to Dan for that.
Thank you.
Any other comments or announcements?
I'm sorry, Mayor, Alderman MacIver asked the question on the fixed fee. I just was able to pull that up, if I can cover that
Very
for just
good.
a
Go
second
ahead.
here. The total fixed costs are actually in the area of about $682,000. They include our IRMA liability insurance, meter reading program, our bond, our audit, our leak detection, and our quality control for the water system.
Okay. Thank you. Again, I'll ask anyone on the council, do you have any questions, comments, and announcements? Then I'd like to open it to the audience. If there's anyone in the audience that would like, please come up forward. Do you want to come up to the microphone? Okay, come on up and, okay, and tell us who you are again?
Harry Gamble, I'm representing the Dewing.
You are a reporter.
Yes, yes.
I'll be darned.
You don't have reporters gonna come?
We used to, I remember the days when we had a number of reporters here on a regular basis, and unfortunately, all of you guys have disappeared.
Well, the newspaper business has had some tough times, as you probably
Yes, I do know, yes.
Well, I just had a couple quick questions relating the water consumption issue. Those rates that you cited, 640 per 100, going up to 775 per 100, that's per 100 gallons. Right?
Per thousand gallons, per 1,000 gallons. And Harry, you said Harry, right?
Yes.
You certainly can call staff anytime to get more information for your articles, just to let you know.
I appreciate
Okay.
that. And the fixed rate fees up from $5 to $10 per bill, so that's per household?
Well, it's per bill, so a resident previously gets billed every 2 months. So they get a bill and it covers, let's just say January and February.
Okay.
Previously, there was a fixed fee for water, not sewer. Sewer has their own
Right.
separate because it's from the county. That was $5 per bill or $2.50 per month. Now that charge is $10 per billing period or $5 per month.
Okay, great. And is there a different rate for commercial users?
No.
Okay. And the unincorporated residence rate that you cited, those are for people who don't live within the city limits but who draw water from Darien?
Correct. And what we're discussing tonight, just again, also as information, is on our website, all the detail, the memo,
it?
and
Okay.
backup, yes.
Great. That's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the first we've had a reporter come up to the microphone and ask us questions.
You should subscribe to the Direct Connect. There's a lot of information.
So that's a good point, yes.
Yes. We'll have to get your email address so we can put you on Direct Connect, and every Friday you'll get an email from us telling you all the wonderful stuff going on in Darien. Okay, if there's no other comments or anything, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman MacIver, seconded by Alderman Belke. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, look at that. The game starts at 8:10.
12 minutes.
Turning the microphones off.
That was gonna be
At least there's no updates, because that always takes like about.
God, you upgraded from the
Well, this thing's ready to die. I need to. It's